we already have been championing coalition, as you know. We were one of the signatories to the Coalition of Democrats when it was first penned. And we continue to open it up to everyone. By the end of next week, there will be 9 members, 9 political parties that are members of a coalition. So I think that the ethos of a coalition are important, and it must be understood that we are trying to build in this a team and a new narrative that says Zimbabwe belongs to all of us, and therefore we can all work together to bring positive change. That there is no entitlement. Whatever happened yesterday does not entitle anyone to be the one who must be the first on the feeding trough. That everyone is entitled. And therefore, we want to clear also the principles of the coalition that we have put in. The first thing is that parties come in on the basis that we will be equal partners on the table. Everyone's voice will be heard. 2, that we will be a principles and value-driven coalition, not opportunistic. This must be because we want to do and be guided by proper values and be tested and be brought to account along those principles and values. The third is that we believe that in defining the Zimbabwe we want, everyone must be involved. So it's not just the preserve of political parties. Having been in a political party doesn't make you a know-it-all, but that civil society and other Zimbabweans are stakeholders, and they must have a voice, and that voice must be heard. The fourth is that we will all field the principle of one candidate for all elected positions, so that we only field one candidate, whether it is for the municipal, whether it is for the National Assembly, or whether it is presidential candidate, only one candidate. And fifthly, that we all will not use our political parties' names and symbols, but we use the Coalition of Democrats symbol and name as the contesting party. So that's the coalition that we have on the ground, and we will make sure that using democratic and fairness principles, we will come up with the people and candidates who will represent the coalition. ZEC is a captured institution. It works for Zanu-PF. It has no capacity at all to run credible, free and fair elections. And therefore, our call is actually that the next general election, the United Nations, African Union and SADC be involved in the management of those elections. And we also know that ZEC will not be able to compile a proper voters' roll, irrespective of what we do, irrespective of what type it is, because the voters' roll has been used mainly as an instrument of exclusion. Exclusion those that cannot provide addresses, exclusion of those who are believed not to be towing the Zanu-PF party line, exclusion of all the areas where the support is not, Zanu-PF is not certain whether it's for them or not. So we actually call for an election where people go with their identity cards to vote without a voters' roll. So we believe only if those two things happen that we will have somewhat of a free and fair election. We can make it happen, because what it is to make sure that people realize that having no voters' roll costs us nothing. So there is no money that is required. This solution is actually the simplest solution. Whereas having a voters' roll will require a lot of money and there will be a lot more disgruntlement at the end of it. Whereas not having a voters' roll costs us nothing. So it is the easiest to implement. We did it in the 2013 the referendum. We did it in the 2000 referendum. We did it in 1980. So we have got a history of this. And it doesn't cost too much money in terms of deployment. All we have got to make sure is that the ink that marks that a person has voted is proper ink that will not be washable. And so that way, it's the best way to have our 2018 elections.
But many would like to say that you were once in government and then failed to push for electoral reforms. Is it easy pushing from outside than from inside?
I think it is a lot more difficult to push from outside than it is from inside. I have been on record to say that we failed. We failed the people when we were in government to do those things. There might have been some successes, but largely in terms of all the reforms that were required, we failed. And again, we shouldn't give any excuses. We take responsibility for it. But now, this is a new situation. And we believe that those minimal reforms that we are suggesting are well within reach.
For these and other stories, visit our website www.263chat.com. Follow us on Twitter @263chat and like our Facebook page 263chat.